Hi, this is Bruce Buffer, your voice of the Octagon, and you're listening to MMA Mental.
Okay, I'm now joined by Jordan Gaza. Jordan is a professional MMA fighter at flyweight. How's things with you, Jordan?
Everything's going great.
Now, looking over, I know you've just had a fight. You've just had a fight in the last couple of weeks. Is that correct?
Yes, I fought February 1st in Oklahoma.
And you fought Kathina Catron.
Yes.
And do you want to tell us how that fight went?
Well, pretty much she was a hometown favorite there. She was undefeated as an amateur. She was 6-0 and 2-0 as a pro. And pretty much they brought me in there to lose. Right whenever she came out, though, I just went in for a nice double leg and took her down. And once I take someone down to the ground, it's pretty much my fight from there. So I controlled the whole first round and got some good ground and pound in. And then the second round, I went in, got a nice little trip, and ended up getting a rear naked choke.
What does it feel like when you go into a fight and you're expected to lose? Does that just kind of fire you up to prove everybody wrong?
Yes, I think it's fun, like, doing that. I like proving people wrong a lot, and, it's less pressure, actually.
What's your? I know you've got quite an extensive amateur record. What is your amateur record?
My amateur record, it was 4-3.
And what made you want to go from fighting amateur to pro?
I felt like I was ready. I actually lost my last amateur fight. Most people, they want to come off of a win, but I just felt like, I had done and fought all that I could in amateur, and, I did jiu-jitsu for so long also, and I consider those matches. So I had a lot of stuff already, and I felt like it was time, even though I'm only 20, and, I had my first pro fight when I was 19, and I felt like I was ready.
You say you did jiu-jitsu for quite a while. Can you explain just what you did? What kind of was you doing, like jiu-jitsu tournaments?
Yes, I was competitive in jiu-jitsu ever since I was about 13. So, I was competing pretty much every month. Over here, or my coach, the way he did it was you have to be 16 to get your blue belt, and, on my 16th birthday, I got my blue belt. It was just, I was very active in it. I loved it, and that was all that I did, along with, like, high school sports and cheerleading and stuff, but jiu-jitsu was definitely, I competed so much, and until I found MMA, that's all what I did in martial arts.
And you say you got your blue belt. So under who did you get your blue belt? Who was your coach?
My coach used to be Hector Munoz. He was my old coach, but we had a fallout there, so now I'm training under Leo Cantu at Gracie Baja.
And are you a blue belt, or have you worked up to another belt?
I'm still a blue belt, actually. It's hard for me to get into gi classes now, just because, I'm strictly training MMA, and I jump into the classes every once in a while, but I don't get to compete, and I don't get to make it to all the classes that I should be going to. So, I think I'm going to be stuck here for quite a while until I get the time to compete again and make it to more gi classes.
Now, I've looking through it. Am I right in saying you've got a fight coming up in April?
Right. I won in North Dakota on April 20th.
And do you want to let us know who you're fighting?
I'm fighting Amber Stotzenberger. I think that's how you say her last name. But yeah, we're both from Texas, and we're fighting in Oklahoma. In North Dakota.
Do you know a lot about Amber, or is this just going to be completely new to you?
I've seen one of her fights. She's fought someone that I used to train with. I don't really know too much about her. I know I've heard about her a lot, and she's been around for a really long time. But, as far as knowing her game plan and all that, I'm going to train for anything.
And I know from talking with you, obviously you mentioned about your BJJ. Would you say that is your strongest part of your game then, is your BJJ?
Definitely my wrestling and my jiu-jitsu are my strongest. And, I feel confident, and, like everyone that I spar with and everyone that I get to hit mitts with and stuff says that my striking is good and that I have really heavy hands. But I guess I just haven't gotten to show it yet in the fight. But definitely jiu-jitsu, since I've been doing it so long, is where I'm most confident.
Also, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about women's MMA in general, because there's obviously been quite a lot of news recently. I know we've got the big fight tomorrow night, but you've also got Invicta, XFC are pushing their women's division hard, as well as, of course, we've got Ronda Rousey and Liz Carmouche. What do you think to women's MMA, and how exciting is it for you as a woman fighter to see so much emphasis being put on women's MMA?
It's exciting, especially because, I'm jumping in it at a young age, and I feel like I can be in there with the next generation of fighters where, when I first started, when I had my first amateur fight, it was kind of like I didn't really know what to expect because there wasn't really anything like, you say you want to be a pro MMA fighter, but where's that going to get you if you're not in the UFC or if you're not in some big organization? So, now that there's women in the UFC and now that they have full-out girls fight cards and stuff, I feel like, it's going to be awesome. And, we have a really bright future now, and I think after this fight this weekend, they're going to show people that, there need to be tons of women's fights in the UFC, and we can fight just as good as the guys or even better.
Absolutely, and I think it's just been a matter of time, I think, before women finally get the showcase that they deserve. I mean, we talk about the fight this weekend, but I mean, Invicta put on some fantastic cards. I know XFC, like I say, they're putting a lot of emphasis on their women's division at the moment as well. You've got great female fighters in Bellator, and I just think it must be nice for you to see that you now know what you can aim for. Where like when you first started out, you didn't really know how far you could go with this, just because the female fighters weren't being given the same opportunities what the male fighters were.
Right.
So, what would you? Obviously, going back to your fight you've got coming up in April, then, what would you say were your strengths over her weaknesses? Would you be looking to? I know you talked a little bit about your striking, but would you be looking to shoot in and get down to the ground and work your jiu-jitsu?
Probably for this fight. I mean, it depends how if she comes out swinging at me, I have a game plan. If she comes out circling, I have a game plan. It just depends, really. I mean, I used to go into fights with one strict game plan, and that would really mess me up, because if that didn't go my way, then I would start thinking whenever you should just let your body take over. So, the way I'm training right now, I don't really have an exact idea of what I'm going to do, but I have multiple ideas. I have multiple situations in my head that I go through every day even, and just, I'm ready for anything.
And do you feel as well as the pressure's been lifted a little bit with you getting your first pro win? I know you lost your pro debut in a close fight, but was it nice to get that first professional win under your belt?
Oh yeah, it felt amazing. It felt like a big relief. My first pro fight, it didn't go as I planned, and it took me a while to jump back in there after that, but I took a loss kind of hard because I felt like I should have won that fight, and I felt like I should have done better in that fight. But it's a big relief to win a fight again. I hadn't won a fight in a while, and I felt like I was back to my old self again after winning.
Well, we just want to wish you all the luck for your fight coming up in April. It's such a boom time at the minute for women's MMA, and obviously, like you say, with you being 20, there's so much potential of what you can achieve. So we wish you all the luck for your next fight. And before we let you go, do you want to just give you a chance to do any shout-outs? You want to got any shout-out, any friends, family, gyms? If you're on Facebook and Twitter, let people know about that as well.
Okay, I'd like to say thank you to all my fans and all my family and friends that keep up with me and that support me, and also to all of my local sponsors here in Corpus Christi that help me out tremendously, and my sponsors just around here that just help me out, and just thank you to everyone, and that's pretty much it.
Well, thank you very much for your time today, Jordan, and I'll look forward to hearing about your fight and watching your fight in April.
Thank you.
All right. See you later.
All right.
Bye.
Okay.